The late 1970s and early 80s were a golden era for home computers. The DIY kits of the past evolved into fully assembled, ready-to-use machines that changed how people worked, learned, and played. This was the birth of the 8-bit revolution, an era of colorful graphics, iconic sound, and affordable computing for the masses. In 1977, three computers hit the market that made computing easier for ordinary people: the Apple II, the TRS-80, and the Commodore PET. They were known as the 1977 Trinity, and for the first time, computers came pre-assembled, with keyboards, screens, and even floppy drives. The Apple II became the first real consumer success story. It was powerful, expandable, and even ran some of the earliest spreadsheet software, VCCALC, turning it into a business tool. Meanwhile, the TRS-80 from Radio Shack and the PET 2001 from Commodore made computing affordable for the everyday person. With these computers came something new: video games. Before this, gaming was limited to arcades and consoles. But now, people could program and play their own games at home. Titles like Oregon Trail and Zork became instant classics. Many early computers used the basic programming language, which let users create their own programs. This inspired a generation of young programmers, some of whom would later create companies like ID Software and Nintendo's game development teams. Then, in 1982, Commodore changed everything with the C64, the best-selling home computer of all time. It had more IM, better graphics, and a legendary SID sound chip that gave it an edge in gaming and music. The C64 wasn't just a computer, it was a gaming powerhouse. It had arcade-quality graphics and sound, making it a favorite for home developers and big studios alike. And just like earlier machines, the C64 had built-in BASIC, keeping the spirit of homebrew programming alive. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, the UK had its own home computer revolution. The ZX Spectrum, released in 1982, was small, affordable, and beloved by a generation of British gamers and programmers. Unlike the floppy disk-based Apple II or C64, the Spectrum used cassette tapes for storage. It was slow, but it kept costs down, making computing accessible to more people. The Spectrum became the UK's best-selling computer and inspired many game developers, including the founders of Rockstar Games, the creators of Grand Theft Auto. By the mid-80s, home computers weren't just for work or school, they were part of pop culture. Schools had computer labs, kids were coding games, and a new underground movement was forming: the demo scene. The demo scene was a group of programmers pushing these machines to their limits, making stunning graphics and music using just code. It was the ultimate homebrew challenge, and it's still alive today. The 8-bit home computer boom changed everything. It introduced millions to computing, gaming, and coding. But as the 80s went on, a new era of computers was coming, one with 16-bit power, graphical interfaces, and even more possibilities. Next time, we'll look at the rise of hobbyist operating systems, from Minix to early Linux.